You guys are not even just running a business, you're now like running an empire.
To get to $1 billion valuation, I need to do between 500 and 700 million rev. That's the number, guys. The fast-paced environment, it'll never stop. The to-do list, you'll never cross them all off. Get used to it, but this is how you're going to make the big bucks and how you're going to have fun. If you're going to play, wouldn't you want to play on the winning team? Wouldn't you want to play on a fucking all-star team? Well, that's what we're doing over here. No matter how big we get, always remember that the client comes first. And that white glove service and taking that file to the finish line like it's the last file on earth is very important, along with the company culture and the love with my family. Like, I'll take bullets for my team, literally. And I know they do the same for me. So no matter how big we get, stay humble, stay cool, and always have each other's backs, you know?
Something you learned from your dad.
Yeah, all day.
Just like you've got your podcast, What Would It Cost? Ours is That Fine Life. We like to see, what is it that you're doing that helps you live that fine life? From wine country to cottage country, real estate is all about lifestyle. I'm Andrew Perry, and welcome to That Fine Life. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of That Fine Life. I'm your host, Andrew Perry, and today I've got a good friend of mine, Nick Regina, from Spark Financial, and as we'll get into on the podcast, much more. We're going to take a deep dive into a lot of your businesses because honestly, I've been watching you and there's something that gravitates me to you guys, and it's not the fucking dope ass hair, and and my wife's Italian. You know what I mean? It's more than that. It's the willingness to always be growing, which I think a lot of people are missing in their business right now. Like mortgage brokers, realtors, it's like they're always just, okay, how can I service my clients and get a deal done? And they don't think of it like, oh shit, I'm running a business. And you guys are not even just running a business, you're now like running an empire. So it's great. So welcome, Nick. I appreciate you coming on. Where are you coming from?
Yeah,
are you Vaughan?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Vaughan, yeah.
Yeah, Toronto?
Toronto.
So I appreciate it, man. So how we do it is, we like to interview our guests, figure out, just like you've got your podcast, What Would It Cost? Ours is That Fine Life. We like to see, what is it that you're doing that helps you live that fine life? I know you're a hustler and all that, but you got 3 kids?
Yeah.
3? All girls?
2 girls and a boy. 2
girls and a boy. And it's tough living that type of, CEO mindset with the kids at home. But, hold on. Is your wife Italian too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because you called me out on your podcast this week and you're like, what's it like being married to an Italian? So what is it like? No, I'm not going to sue you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different when the white boy is sitting here trying to answer that question. But no, so introduce yourself, brother. Let us know, when was it that you got started in the business? And we'll just kick it off from there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'd like to take the opportunity to start by saying thank you, though. I'm very grateful for having you host me here today. I mean,
absolutely, buddy.
I look up to you and what you're doing in the business.
Thank you.
And you're an absolute rock star. And that same energy that you feel come through a screen, so do I. And I read from the second I seen you, I was like, oh, man, this guy's got it. He's cool. I want to be a part of whatever he's doing in the future and Thanks, stay close. So I feel very grateful to be here.
Thank you, man.
That
means a lot.
Love the name of the podcast and love the intro too. That intro just made me feel like I got to step my game up on my podcast a bit. So
well, you know what, cool, man? It's like,
cool.
I do, honestly, when we did push-ups before the pod, I don't normally do that stuff, but you gave me that idea before I came on your pod.
Yeah.
But usually I just use that intro as a time to just kind of fucking fire people up,
Yeah, it's nice because you get the blood moving. You kind of break that awkwardness and that. Yeah.
So and just before you began,
yeah.
That's what I thought I was doing at the Buzz conference yesterday. And I guess my mic volume was really crazy. So my voice is naturally loud when I present. And the entire venue was like, what the fuck is going on? I had people the people who were there weren't too bad, but the people in the booth where the speaker was literally pointing down, they weren't fired up. They were ready to get the hell out of here. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
That's awesome, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing that footage.
Dude, you will. Yeah. So where did you get started?
Yeah, so
how did you get into the industry, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the start of my entrepreneurial career, I was a very young man that really idolized my father, and he was my biggest mentor. He was my biggest hero, still is today. He was an entrepreneur, general contractor, and from a very young age, I just didn't jive with the curriculum and the schooling system. It wasn't for me. I was bouncing off walls, not doing good in class, causing trouble, and my parents knew that I wasn't ever going to turn that leaf, right? And have it be that it's something that worked for me, even though like throughout the years, they always stressed how important it was, and to take it a lot more seriously and to inject some more discipline into my life. But it just didn't jive with me. I just wasn't liking it. And there were times that I did try, but it just didn't work, right? So with that being said, they were like, all right, cool. You got to work, and you got to work your ass off.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure that
you're not going to do the school. You got to work your ass off.
You got to work. They're old school. They're old school, but very new school Italians, right? Second generation.
Yep.
I am, right? So with that being said, you know, the lot of core values of theirs was, if you're going to work, you know, go to work hard, make sure that you're doing your best day in, day out.
Yeah.
There's no judgment on whether you're, you know, a high performing CEO, doctor, lawyer, or if you just got a regular 9 to 5 day to day that pays the bills, right? It was just whatever you're going to do, go into it, work, be respectful, and get her done. So with that being said, I'd always watch my dad rock out on these job sites. And from a very young age, he actually started bringing me on the job sites from 14 years old to do demo work, right?
Yeah.
Demo work and just, you know, slinging things around and doing clean up, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been there.
I think part and parcel of it was to kind of like make me hate it so much so that I'd want to do good in school, right? And change my mind. So he'd always give me some real shit stuff, shitty work to do. But I liked it, man. I liked making a bit of money. I liked being independent. I spent all my summers at work in high school. And I was also, at the same time, a busboy for my cousin's restaurant. I started my first job at 13, washing dishes in the back and that and all that good stuff in the back of a kitchen. So I had 2 jobs, fell in love with the hospitality industry. I had a true passion for it. Yeah. So from busboy, I went into the bartending side of things when I was 18 at a martini bar on college called Eat My Martini. And then, you know, and then at the same time was working for my father's contracting company, and throughout all of high school. And then right after high school, went to work for him. So it was just turned 18, full time. And I grew up like in his passenger seat, going from job site to job site, or just listening to how he'd take phone calls at home, or he'd be talking a lot about work at the dinner table. And I really loved the way he moved and shaked. I loved the way he treated people. I loved the way he always like took care of his guys and made sure that he ate last, right? And that he was like all for one for all. And you could tell like his guys really felt that from him, you know, and like everyone really loved working with and for him, you know? So that was something for me that just kind of naturally rubbed off on me, for me, like just loving him so much and thinking that he was awesome, and he is. So yeah, I picked up a lot of the entrepreneurial skills from that. And then when I went into the trades, actually at one point in time I think it was 2 years in, I said, you know, Pop, I love you so much, but you know, I don't want to work for you and it be that you're my boss. I just want you to be that you're my dad. Yeah. You know, because, you know, his business was kicking ass. He had a lot of jobs. He had a full-blown 15,000 square foot millwork shop. He'd do high-end millwork for all the pubs and clubs downtown and some really cool stuff. So I was the heir to that. I was supposed to take over. And it's intense, which is cool. That's not the part that bugged me. The part that bugged me was the fact that, you know, it was always work, right? And it was always like, let's build a strategy here. Like, how's that job going, or what's going on over there? Tell me a little bit more about this. And it was like, I never had that father-son real relationship with him.
Was it like
for the
employer,
couple of years
employee,
I was working full time. It was employer, employee, and even more so than that, it was you know, almost partners, right? At some point, and where that's how we would talk, right? In regards to not me, you know, getting into it with him on the pricing side or the strategy side, but him bouncing or trusting me as if I was a small partner. And yeah, that's when I broke away. It was really cool. He really, really respected that. And he was like, fuck yeah, I'm totally cool with that. You know what I mean? So we got our relationship back right away, and then went into electrical. There was a really cool electrical contractor on site that I always hit it off with, the electrician. So I got into electrical, got in to my 4th year, and then I'll pause it there, bring it back to the nightlife. So from bartending, went on.
So but you did 4 years as an electrician after that? Oh, shit.
4 years as an electrician and 3.5. And then from bartender, what was happening naturally was like I just talked to a lot of people at the bar, and I was like I was like a real social guy in high school, so I'd always have a pretty big network that I'd invite out to the bar, and we'd talk and shoot the shit, and like I'd serve them drinks and like buzz out with them, and I was like bringing a lot of people to this bar that I was working at, and then it was like, again, nightlife and hospitality was like, I always felt it was so sexy and it was so cool, and it was something that I really enjoyed to do. And I always like really, really idolized the club owners and the guys that were really doing it big and, you know, bringing solid hospitality to the city and continuing to set the bar higher and higher. Guys like Charles Caboth or Nick DiDonato or, you know, John Unique and the boys. And it was just sexy. I liked it. Yeah. So I started a promotion company, and it was called NRG. And that was the Nick Regina group. And that promotion company went on to win nine awards in the 10 years. Small. Yeah, the 10 years it was in business. We won 9 times out of the 10. We won Promoter of the Year. And at the Toronto Nightclub Awards. Yeah, and we retired on top, so we didn't lose. We passed back the award.
Attaboy.
And then as we were promoting, this is a really, really long story short, but as we were promoting these clubs, I built up such a big family that our firing power was crazy. Like, we were able to bring an amazing amount of volume into any of the clubs we were promoting. So at that point, like, the amount of booths we were bringing and the amount of volume that we were bringing, like, I was being offered equity of these nightclubs to just stay loyal to them and not move my crowd around. And I took up, you know, one operator in particular on that opportunity, and I stayed loyal to him right to the end as his partner. We were equal partners in all the clubs that we did, and he was the operating arm, right? And then I was the promotion, marketing, talent booking. Yeah. And we slammed the fuck out of whatever clubs it is that we owned, and we had a good time, made a lot of money, vertically integrated, and built up a big portfolio. Had 7 nightclubs in my time, 5 in Toronto, 2 of which were in Miami, which was fun. That's how I got familiar with the Florida market there.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then at the tail end of that as well, I scooped up personally Club Owner of the Year the last 3 years in a row at the awards as well. Retired at the top.
And where were you when I was growing up, man?
Yeah, I got just on King Street, man, in downtown, right? So did some really cool shows. Booked anyone from like a local DJ to Drake. I was the one and only promoter that had Drake on a private show in Vaughan. It was called the Prayer Noir, and I was able to book him and do a really, really, really badass, like high caliber fine dining experience.
Was that with Carlos?
Yeah. That's the hall I did it at, Carlo.
Yeah.
Les Jardins.
Yeah. I know him. He was on my podcast when it was the Daily Reel.
Yeah. So Carlo did a lot of work with Carlo. I love Carlo.
Yeah,
actually, I have a couple units in his hotel right now.
I know. Hotel V. I was considering that as well at the time.
Cool guy.
I bought in Costa Rica.
Just as cool. So with that being said, he had an idea, and that was a Prayer Noir, and it was like a high caliber, high end, dinner event series. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And I was the guy that he tapped, and I brought my network and booked Drake and a bunch of other guys, David Blaine, Jennifer Hudson. And I always had these guys in the club. Like, you're always having celebrities in the club, and then you make relationships with them and their managers, and you book them at events. So Countdown, Liberty Grand, New Year's. That was my party for 8 years in a row. Me and Massimo slammed it, right? That was us. Monster Mash Halloween, Liberty Grand. That was us. And man, we'd slam our clubs, we'd slam our events. It was good, but fast forward 2019. I'm a father now, 3 kids, right? Had 1 at the time. Was planning to have 3, knew I was going to do it. And it was like, okay, I'm making money. I know this is going to be something that's going to continue to come easy for me. I built a name for myself in this business, and that's not going to be an issue. But my number 1 priority was, how can I be, the best dad that I could be, and the best version of myself. And in that industry, I was in the fast lane, man.
Yeah.
Like you're going out every night. You're steady networking.
You're not coming home till 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, your schedule's all over the place. Your weekends are shot. Your evenings are shot. And we built like a real solid family in that industry. And everyone was just like fired up, just as they are now with Spark. But, and it was hard. It was hard to walk away from. But I'll do anything for my kids. I'll do anything for my family. And I knew that if I didn't then I was never going to, or it would continue to be harder and harder and harder. So I pulled the plug on the operation. I sold my portfolio back to my existing partners at the time that I was partners with. I owned a marketing agency called Insert Marketing. The New Year's event, the Halloween event, festival, and the nightclubs, sold it all back to the existing partners, and simply, just walked away with my head high and got into the finance industry, right? So here we are, Spark Financial Group, 3 years into the business as of right now, 22 full-time employees, 3 in Florida.
That's insane.
And 19 over here. And we have an awesome, vibrant company culture, and we're kicking butt. We're scaling, we're building, and we have $1 billion vision. We're going to get there, and it's just about strategic partnerships, aligning yourself with the right people that you have synergies with, taking a little bit of piece of the action in different markets that have density and kick-ass economies, and having fun along the way while doing it.
That's amazing. So the book that I got for you, Buy Back Your Time, it's all about that. It's all about that. And it's, have you ever heard a book, Who Not How?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, you got to get that one too, because it's kind of the same. It's like, because you're eventually, especially with those types of goals, you're eventually, and I'm not accusing you that you don't know what to do. I'm just saying it's like there's ceilings in businesses and there's plateaus. It's like for realtors, it's like that 20 deal mark, that 50 deal mark, that 100 deal mark, that 100 million, that 500. It's like there's these ceilings that you literally can't get there without bringing in the right people. Yeah. And so I love that. And so can I ask, so are you running the companies? Are you a mortgage broker or like?
Yeah. So I'm a licensed mortgage broker. Okay. The first year I did deals, but now I'm lucky enough to be the acting CEO for my companies and all the companies, and founder, obviously. But there is no way that I'm anywhere near a mortgage transaction. It'd be very dangerous for the clients with as many moving parts as I have to deal with. They get involved in a file right now, no shot, right?
Yeah.
And everyone knows that. It's very clear. We have 6 acting divisions at Spark.
I love it.
And it's like, hey, Nicky's the CEO, and everyone knows that. But I have an underwriting department that has 4 underwriters that work for me full time. They've been in the banks for over 25 years. I pulled them out of there, put them on a solid salary, built some incentive in there, and who better than an underwriter to be working on your files, right? No matter how sick of a mortgage agent you are, if you've been underwriting for 25 years, you're not going to be, if you were head to head with one of those underwriters that really know what they're doing, you're good. But imagine, you have to do your admin, you have to do your social media, you have to do your ops, you have to take in your files and all the documents, you have to underwrite, you have to submit, you have to do your meetings, you have to do your social events, you have to, pick up the phone for legends like yourself and pull up to the podcast. How are you simply going to be the best of the best of the best at all those, areas of business? So let everyone focus on theirs. The underwriters are where your deals go.
I love it. And it's all about, being able to put the right people in the right roles to make sure that you can do that. Because I was basically a full-time agent. Like I'm only in the business 6 years, but I was lucky enough to be able to step out of most buyer clients. And even for our sellers now, I make the initial introduction. I explain our roles. I explain why I'm here. I'm the marketing guy. I'm the guy that's going to help you get eyes on your property. Crystal is our VP of sales who's going to be helping you. I help negotiate too. We step in, but I trust her fully. So she books the showings. She chats with the agent. She chats with the clients. And then we have a director of ops who handles absolutely everything else. Then we have our marketing. And then we have Vision Look Studios who does all the pods. So I'm right here with you. So what I wanted to ask you is the Florida thing. So I didn't know that you were affiliated with some Miami nightclubs and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's fucking cool. Because I've never been to Miami. Last time I was in Florida, I was like, I don't know, going to Disneyland or something. So I've always wanted to go and party there. I think my wife is going
Gabriella.
Yeah, well,
tug on him. Tell him to get you out there for a nice little vacay. I'll show you guys
she's
around
actually,
with the wife and kids.
Yeah. Well, she's actually going with my sister-in-law, Vanessa.
Good. Let her know. I'll connect some dots for her if she needs any help.
Yeah, and they're going for their bachelorette.
Okay, let them know. I'll hook them up with all the boys.
Awesome.
Wherever they want to go. Wherever you want to go.
Wait, don't hook them up with all the boys.
No, like
what do you mean?
The guys who own the club.
Yeah, I got all the best strippers. Yeah.
No, none of that. No, just so they walk in like Richard Grieco, like in the Night of the Roxbury, the Seas part, right?
See, I love that, and and just to digress a little bit, like I was in the nightclub industry, same type of lifestyle. Like everybody knew me. I talked to everybody.
What was it, On the Rocks up here? Was that a big club on the Rocks?
No, it was the Bank. The Bank nightclub.
On the Rocks was in Whitby.
There was the Rocks. That was in Barrie.
Alex K and Delirious. Was your big club. Tell him I say what's up, man.
Yeah,
cool.
For sure. Yeah,
Delirious is my boy. He banged out at my Live to Air on the Way Back Wednesday for years.
Way Back Wednesday.
That was my Live to Air.
Was it?
And Gravity and Bloke. Those were my clubs that the Live to Air was going off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's cool. The Bank, legendary. Man.
Oh, dude, it was legendary. I was bringing people all the time.
Yeah.
And then they started paying me for bringing people.
Yeah.
So sure. I loved it. What were we talking about? Miami. So how do you just kind of say, like, what was the thought process of like, okay, so I'm growing Spark, we're doing crazy.
Yeah.
Next move is not a second office in Ontario. It's like to go to Miami.
Yeah. So very, 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 very great question and love it. So to get to $1 billion valuation, I need to do between 500 and 700 mil in rev. And based on my EBITDA and the multiple of my business, that's the number. So with that being said, like I want to go to dense world-class cities that have awesome governments and that, really stink like money. So to start on that list, the population of Florida is almost the whole population of our country.
Yeah.
Number 2, the governor's a fucking rock star and he helps businesses
DeSantis,
out.
baby.
Yeah. Taxes are sick over there.
Yeah.
If you own a business, it's fucking, you're not paying what you're paying over here, right? Yeah. In my business, like our standard yield is like 1%. Over there, it's starting at 2.6. So I had 150 points to my gross overall top line, without adding another layer in on the operation side of things. And down there, like they just want to move, man. Like they don't put all these hurdles in front of you. The lenders that you're dealing with, there's a level of sophistication that Canadian banks just don't have yet.
God.
The American lenders look at a deal the way me and you look at it. Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't I lend on this deal?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it cash flows. It's a good asset. It's in the city. Like what's with all these hurdles? There's some lenders down there that do deals just off of CPA's proven income. So they just need a letter from a CPA saying, yeah, he makes that much. Yeah. That's the income to get you qualified. So, they're really seeing things from an angle that just lets you rock and roll. Right. So why would I open another brokerage in a marketplace that doesn't allow for growth the way a marketplace does, down south, in Florida, right? And my answer to that is, maybe for convenience, maybe because you don't want to go down south for whatever reason it is you are against. But it goes to the beat of my drum. Right. It goes with the grain. I'm not saying there's a wrong or right here, but the way I look at expanding and I got to bring my top line to 500 to 700 mil, like I got to get to those markets, Of course. I got to get down there. And I got to scale out at least another 4 brokerages in Florida before I pop out to New York and then go to Chi-Town and then head to Arizona as well. So Florida's the shit. I've always had a hard on for it, right?
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And just like the thing is like, the biggest thing about like for our industry is the fact that I can't go and sell my investment property, take the proceeds and go and put it into another property without being fucking taxed 50%.
Yeah. Right.
Which is ridiculous. And in the States, you can roll that money back into your next investment project without tax. Yeah. You can't just keep it. Yeah. You can put it in your next project. There you go. Yeah. So the problem that I have is that in Canada, the reason why we have the pricing issues, the reason why we have, the homelessness that we do is that there's not enough housing. There just simply isn't. And we're bringing in all these immigrants. We're bringing in, and which is fantastic, by the way. But it's just we don't have housing for them.
Yeah.
Right. And where do they go? They're not going to North Bay. I mean, some of them are, but the majority are going to go to the GTA. Yeah. And now we have landlocked. We have red tape. We've got taxes. We've got capital gains. Yeah. Like nobody's doing this, and the government isn't building any houses. So what the hell are we supposed to do? Right. And it's like, well, if I want to go, like, cause I bought a fourplex for $540. I put like $13K into it, sold it, boom, got great tenants, sold it almost 12 months later for $925. And we had a decent payout, and I had to give the government like $100,000 or something like that. And I was like, what the hell? Wait, why? Yeah. I'm literally buying a 12-unit building that could, and I never kicked out. You say what you want about landlords, you've keyboard warriors. Fucking, I get nailed for that all the time, being a landlord, for just providing good fucking housing for people. Anyways, so I buy this building in Bracebridge, and I keep the low income tenants in there. They're paying, like, these are $1,600 units minimum, $700, $800. I'm not kicking them out. I'm keeping them. Yeah. And whenever you move on with your whatever, die, I don't know. We'll renovate, and you're right. And so it's a smart decision, and that's why I'm seeing a lot of even realtors. We're in the same industry, but it's different to grow. Your business is completely different to grow, although we rely on each other. But that's why I'm seeing brokerages more and more now go to Florida and start opening. But everyone that I've ever seen, like, they're investors as well. They're buying up motels. They're converting them to apartments. They're doing this. They're doing that. And it's like, man, I need to get on the train. Yeah. And my wife went to a psychic, and she's like, nice. I see Florida.
Nice.
And he was like, no. I see Costa Rica, but Florida as well. And like, Costa Rica is going to work out like that. Florida, not so much. And I'm like, man, she's got that backwards, because I'm dying to get to Florida. I even commented on your thing. As soon as we close on Costa Rica, we're coming to Florida.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So, okay. So
that's
you've
awesome.
got.
Good on you, man.
Thanks, buddy. I mean, good on you for giving me the idea.
Yeah.
So you've got Spark Financial in Ontario and Florida. And, you're building your portfolio, your empire. So what other businesses that are incorporated with all of that? Like, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so vertical integration is obviously part of the strategy as well. When you're
that whole word, you keep saying that.
Yeah, just
vertical integration.
Vertically integrating. So as we're moving and as we're growing, we're bringing on subsidiaries and satellite companies that complement the main company.
Wow.
So
you got a hell of a vocabulary. I'm just this guy from Niagara Falls. No, I love it, man. No, that's great.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And when so like it really comes down to, if it complements what we're doing and it's a no-brainer, then, and it helps and allows for growth, then why not? So let's look at Florida, for instance. The fact that Florida is something that is so popular and being talked about in a big way because of what you just said. People are sick and tired of just talking about how all these hurdles are in front of the builders and developments and the tax laws, and nothing's changing, right? The cap rates are shit at 3-4%. Like, nothing's
in Toronto,
changing.
you can't even get a cap rate.
Are the bad guys, business owners that are making money and stimulating the economy are evil. Like, all these things where it's just like, okay, let's stop talking about it. Let's understand it for what it is. And then let's just do something that allows us to move and shake the way that we want to do. So if you want to be shackled up and, deal with what it is you're dealing over here, or it doesn't affect you because it doesn't really pertain to what your business plan is or strategy, then great. But it would really have me in handcuffs. So I said, okay, let's get down to Florida, but let's not only look at it from an end where we're doing the mortgages and brokering down there and breaking in with the locals and the economy there, but let's help Canadians get to Florida as well. what the biggest problem is, okay, is not getting a mortgage there approved. It's navigating that process from A to Z, where the cap rate started 11, 12 over there. Luxury properties on Airbnbs, they doesn't even compete with this Airbnb market over here.
Right.
So what's stopping investors from shooting in the Florida market? I'll tell you what. The process and navigating it, the immigration lawyer, the tax accountant, the broker, the realtor, the title insurer, they're getting down there, someone to help them navigate while they're down there and feel safe, plugging them into the local ecosystem that's going to help them scale a portfolio down there or have a vacation home if you're a snowbird, or just one simple investment property that can help you bring in some income and cash flow for you, right? So who's going to help you do that? So that's where Spark Concierge comes in. That's a separate company that essentially is a conduit and a pipeline with everyone built out on it from Florida and us walking you through it from A to Z and getting you to the finish line. So that is a satellite company, let's say, but it's so complementary to Spark Florida and Spark Toronto. Let's look at Toronto Life General Insurance. That's my general insurance company. There is brokerage. There is a need for home, auto, commercial insurance. You can't do without it. Love the business. It's residual, 92% retention rate year over year. With that being said, no brainer. We're quoting people. We're doing people's application. We have all the information on them, their whole life, while doing a mortgage for them. They're trusting
you already
us
have
with
all that
$1 million.
information.
Yeah, we're trusting us with $1 million transaction. Let us quote your home and auto. Probably going to pick that up.
Right.
Subsidiary company, satellite company, vertical integration helps me add to the top line, right? It's just redirecting.
And being able to keep everybody in the same ecosystem.
Yeah.
You trust. You have people that you trust that are helping assist along in that entire process.
Exactly.
Because like how many times you got a mortgage and you get a random call from like a third party. Hey, do you need life insurance? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't check the box on the mortgage application? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right. I had no idea that like that entire, because of my first two mortgages, I got calls right after. I'm like, nobody told me about a life insurance or a mortgage insurance. Yeah. I'm like, no. So this makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all under one roof, right? These businesses. If you're within my portfolio and you're in my incubator.
See, I love that.
Yeah.
Because it had the same broker talk to me about it. Maybe it would have been different.
Yeah. Exactly. And walked in right into their office. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And say, hey, you know what? There's an awesome person that's going to receive you on the general insurance end. Her name is Sandra Rico. She offers that same white glove as we do here because we're one big happy family. I'm sure you're going to love to hear what she has to offer. And we're the best when it comes to getting you an awesome rate and a great provider.
See, I love
Little white glove handoff, less than 30 seconds. And
see, but because I love this conversation because it's really getting my wheels turning. Because at our brokerage that I run with Evan and Jesse McDonald in Niagara on the Lake, is we have a mortgage broker, a lawyer, and a developer all in the same office, which is great.
Nice,
but we don't own them.
Okay,
they just rent the office.
Okay, yeah.
So, it's kind of getting my wheels spinning here. It's like, how do you do that vertical integration?
Yeah.
And I'm loving the convo.
Yeah.
So, and then you have more though.
Yeah. A couple more. I got Stride. And remember though, these strategic partnerships, when I'm building them, I'm the one who executes the build out, the structure, injects the capital, builds the culture. However, I partner with an expert in that space.
Right.
So I'm 50-50 on TLGI, but my partner, he's been in insurance for over 30 years.
Right.
Right. So every business I get into, I bring in the expert.
Right.
And I build it around what they know their knowledge, and then we go. She goes.
It's exactly what I do in the real estate industry. I grow like a lot of realtors, they don't think like I do. Like I don't want to grow my team so massive that they're overlapping in the same market. Right. So I grow into different markets like Muskoka, Quathras, Burlington, and I team up with people who've been in the industry who are local on the ground. And then, because once I get those referrals, I don't want to send my clients to somebody that I don't trust. And it comes back to that. And then I also I want a bigger piece if I'm teeing you up as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And that never changes.
Right.
And that's like, that's the wall that I hit in nightlife. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to bring it in-house then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to build it out myself. And I'll go through a little bit of the struggles in the beginning with injecting the capital, putting in the time, having the same conversations that you have to have a lot. But then when she starts to boogie, look out. Yeah. And those frustrations in regards to, well, I don't know how that client's being handled. And if they're going to be handled as nicely as if they were within someone within my family, or I don't know if that person's going to then, be loyal to me and bring that lead back to me so that I can continue to do further business with them.
Huge.
Those are more headaches and problems that used to bring my energy levels down than having to launch a new business to get over that and never have to worry about it again.
Next thing you know, you're buying plumbing companies.
Yeah.
Well, my partner, Evan and Jesse, they own a property management company, a custom home, plumbing, and a whole bunch of general contractor stuff, as well as they're like one of the top luxury agents in our area. So I love it. So, and just a question, not to open you up, but cool. What about, do you ever think of buying and flipping businesses?
No, because
you want to be involved.
Yeah, I want to be in control. I've lost millions of dollars by investing in other people.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I'm very confident in the real estate market. Yeah. I don't like anything else but it. Not because it can't do well for you or it can't perform or it can't make you super rich, but because I'm not in control. Number one, or they're not making any more land. You know what I mean? Yeah. And real estate's fucking solid. So why wouldn't I want to,
I agree,
partake in that asset class and just rock with it? And there's enough to do, in a few lifetimes in this specific space.
I agree.
That I don't care to dabble in anything else. Literally, I've lost millions of dollars on other people's operations or on other people's words or on other people's businesses. And let's face it, anytime you're seeing even things on social media and other operations that look really sexy, when you open up the hood, it's almost like, she ain't running like a well-oiled machine like it looks, right? Yeah. And that's because operations it's extremely complicated to run a well-oiled machine, to make sure systems and processes are in place. There's proper leadership, people are inspired, culture is vibrant, top line revenue's heavy, but bottom line's fucking there too. Yeah. It's tough to fucking keep that maintained. So I've just lost faith in it, and we're doing so well with it that that I would rather invest the time and the money building it out at this point in time and at this stage. When we're past the point about 100, 150 mil in rev, then at that point I'll look at acquiring boutique style businesses that I can bring on that'll help me slingshot past what the first 3 years look like, and then put them on steroids, get rid of maybe a couple bad apples, put my systems and processes in place and hit.
There you go.
But that's at that point where we start doing acquiring companies and stuff. Right now we're still too small for that. Don't have enough time too.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, I was just thinking because, it just sounds like based on your skill set that you would have that ability to come in. And even if you're not flipping the actual business itself, come into the business, figure out what the holes are, get them up and running, hire a CEO or manager of that particular company, kind of move on. But you're right about the systems. And one of the difficult things that I'm finding about our systems and operations is that it's like, there's always something new. And it's like we have a really hard time focusing. We're like, okay, but if we had this, that program would help us run our systems a little better. And it's like, how do you kind of, when do you know that you finally have your systems in place?
Yeah. Those are forever evolving, right? And
with good. Growth, so we're not the only team then.
I had a big team huddle with my team today, and it was about overall vision and the org chart, right? So I had the org chart up, overall vision, full team huddle, 2.5 hours. And I said to everyone, and I always say it, guys, the fast-paced environment, it'll never stop. The to-do list, you'll never cross them all off. Get used to it. But this is how you're going to make the big bucks and how you're going to have fun. If you're going to play, wouldn't you want to play on the winning team? Right. Wouldn't you want to play on a fucking all-star team? Well, that's what we're doing over here. So they love it, and they're all about it, but steady. Have to remind them and let them know everything's okay. Course. Don't get overwhelmed. But the org chart, as you continue to onboard, we're onboarding at this point last year, we were at fucking 6 people. Right. We're nearing now 22. We're 22. Just 22. We did an onboard lunch today, right after that huddle. So, you know, like that's 4x, and the revenues reflect that as well. So, with that being said, when you're opening up your systems and processes and your structure and the org chart, that's steady shifting around now, right? And you're steady back up at the drawing board. But don't let it frustrate you. Just know that has to be done if you're looking for growth. Continue. Yeah.
And what I like that you just said, which seems obvious, but it's not always the case, is that you said we're growing for the onboarding and bringing people on at 4x, but your revenue's backing it up too.
Yeah, sure. You have to.
Fuck, because like, you know, companies grow all the time, and you bring in people, and you think it's the right move, and things, next thing you know, you're fucking below where you were last year. Like, what the hell? Scary. What the fuck is going on? Now I got all these people to take care of. And, you know, you've got good people, and you want to keep them motivated. You want to give them promotions. You want to give them incentives, bonuses. But it's like, but you're falling behind. Like, they're working their ass off. It's just you've got multiple departments, right? So it's something that we're kind of growing and learning through as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, for sure, man. For us, it's like revenue. That's why we're really, really big on the digital footprint, and we're very, very aggressive in a tasteful way on chasing down our target market and adding a fuck ton of value above and beyond just mortgages for them to attract them and want to work with us. We don't have agents.
Right.
We're all salaried internal full-time employees. So I'm not relying on agent volume. So the realtors are my agents, right?
Yeah, so I love that, because going through what we're going through, we're like, we need more salaried people, right? Like, we have commission-based, we have incentives, and it's not enough. Right. And it's like, I feel like exactly what you just said, the salary base with maybe some bonuses and incentives seems like, you know, a different play, because, you know, it's, you know, the team isn't pressured. They're not stressed out because they're not selling. You know, they don't have to get put in comfortable positions, but they know that there's still incentives to grow based on. So what is next for you guys? And like, you know, this is kind of a part of the show where you do your plugs and shit. Yeah.
Just continue to rock and roll at the rate that we are. For me, like, I love to stay balanced. I'm big on personal development, right? So I'm cold tubbing, I'm saunaing, I'm working out, I'm meditating, I'm doing breath work, I'm aligning myself with awesome individuals that I learn so much more from than I know on a day-to-day basis in life in general. So I feel grateful for that. Number one is my family. Yeah. And they're my why. And then my work family is my why as well. Yeah. So I feel very grateful, very blessed, but just to continue doing what we're doing now, and just to really, no matter how big we get, to always remember that the client comes first, and that white glove service and taking that file to the finish line, like it's the last file on earth, is very important, along with the company culture and the love with my family. Like, I'll take bullets for my team, literally, you know what I mean? And I need them to always know that, and they do, and I know they do the same for me. So no matter how big we get, stay humble, stay cool, and always have each other's backs, you know?
Something you learned from your dad.
Yeah, all day.
I love it. Yeah. All right, buddy. So where can everybody find you?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram.
Oh, fuck. These guys got like 100 handles. Spark Financial, Toronto, Florida.
Just find me on Instagram at Nick Regina. We'll keep it simple.
My man.
From there, there's a link tree. You could hit it.
There you go. Yeah, forget that. I never mentioned my link tree. But anyways, buddy, appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, this is the time where we wrap it up, and I let you know that we really appreciate your reviews. So all those reviews on Spotify, they help us grow. The notification bell, the subscribes, the comments. And what we're doing now, we're rolling out on our YouTube channel, is that every 100th subscriber gets some swag from the Finest Seats team. So we're really looking forward to that, and we want to see you all wearing hats and fucking jackets and all that. So couldn't do it without you, and I certainly wouldn't want to. Until next time.